What's up, guys? Calvin here. I got a domination gameplay for you today. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, but first let me give you a little bit of sort of housekeeping stuff. I'm sorry it's been a couple days since the last video. I know a bunch of you said, you know, please give us another one, and I'm happy to. I have a ton of gameplay, but here's the deal. When I play, I'm usually make the mistake of playing before I do my commentaries, which is a huge mistake, and I need to learn not to do that. And when I play and have a bad night or a mediocre night, or the game frustrates me, I'm frustrated, and I don't really want to do a commentary. And I don't know if other YouTube guys have that same problem, or if it's just me being weird or whatever, but that's kind of why I slacked off the last couple of days. The lag's been really, really bad. I've been getting into it when I've been playing by myself. 4 out of 5 games I'm in, I'm either down 100 points in domination, or 20 kills in TDM, or something like that, or 20 dog tags and kill confirmed, and it drives me fucking bananas. I can't stand it. I rage quit, or dash, or quit, or die 4 times, and then quit in anger, and yeah, none of it makes me happy. So that is the that's sort of the excuse there, and I'm sorry about that. I really am working on more content. I love that little sticky nade there, by the way, completely blind. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday night. I have a lunch meeting and an afternoon meeting tomorrow, so this is not boding well for me so far. But I really, really wanted to do this commentary, and I am really, really proud of this game. I'm happy with this game. I loved it. I am rushing the entire game with an MP7 using the support class. Only 2 kill streaks. You guys should learn to do this. This is very useful depending on the game type and the sort of the way you're trying to play. I'm only using UAV and counter UAV, extreme conditioning, quick draw, and probably steady aim. So the reason I only have the 2 kill streaks is I don't want to bother waiting till I get to 8 in order to get another kill streak. I want it to go ahead and reset. So if you just put 2 on, it goes ahead and resets it as soon as you reach the second one. So during this game, I think I call in something like I want to say 12 UAVs and 11 counter UAVs, or something just absolutely disgusting. And obviously it helps my teammates out a lot, and I had a lot of fun doing it. You're going to see me pick up the G36C several times off some nub and use it a lot. I still would consider this primarily an MP7 rushing game, but there's a lot of long sight lines on this map, Downturn I think it's called, and having a long range weapon in the G36C is pretty important. I just also, god damn it, I keep saying I also like to point out that I hate this map. I hate a lot of the maps. I really love the game, really hate the maps. This map is particularly horrible in my mind. 2 huge buildings, an enormous crater in the middle, and 3 random exits coming out on the extremities of the map. So basically, there is nowhere you can go where you're not flanked except one of the long hallways in the 2 buildings. And guess what? That's where every slow-ass, boring person sits and camps, and it drives me bananas. People, please don't camp. Play slow, play defensive, do what you have to do, but get out of the corners. Anyways, I'm ranting here because I'm tired. So a little bit more about the MP7. In my opinion, the second best SMG in the game. I really love it. I have a ton of fun with it, but I don't think you can argue that the P90 is the best gun or best SMG in the game, especially with extended mags and rapid fire. The P91 is, or M1 or whatever it's called, is really good as well, but the rate of fire is so high that I actually find it almost distracting. I find it very difficult to control, even with steady aim. And the UMP is very good, but I think it's outclassed by several other guns. The MP7 has the advantage of doing a lot of damage up close, having a very large clip size. I believe it's 40 by default instead of 30, and an extremely high rate of fire. So I'm using the G36 here, so you can't really see that. But when I go back to the MP7, when I respawn, you'll see that it just tears people apart. I sort of go back and forth about what I want to do with it. I use the rapid fire on it a lot, I use the silencer on it a lot, and I use the 2 attachment proficiency with both on it a lot. I'm not sure what the best way to do it is. If you only have 1 attachment on it, you can just use range, which definitely helps. And in that instance, probably the silencer is your best bet. What else? You don't need quick draw with this gun. Everybody tells you that you need quick draw with SMGs. I don't really understand why. SMGs actually scope in at 1/4 of a second, or 0.25 milliseconds, or maybe it could even be 0.2 milliseconds. No, it is 0.2 milliseconds, excuse me, or 2/10 of a second, whereas assault rifles scope in at 3/10 of a millisecond. Quick draw halves that. And the practical difference that you're going to see of 2/10 of a second versus 1/10 of a second is, it should be non-existent. You shouldn't be able to tell the difference. I mean, you probably can see it visually, but it really shouldn't matter when you're actually shooting the gun. So I don't actually think that any gun in the game needs quick draw. I think that the difference is almost entirely visual. In the faster ADS speed, you know, obviously the animation is faster, the zoomed out sight, but if you're pre-firing the gun as you zoom in, I'm really not convinced it makes any practical difference. And a friend of mine is going to help me in a private match do some testing on quick draw, the efficacy of quick draw, because he and I have been discussing this for several days, because I can't really decide what I think is more utility in the tier 2 perk slot, the quick draw, assassin, or hardline. Obviously all have their uses, but you know, I don't know, I just can't get this thought out of my head that quick draw is overrated. If the actual ADS time is 3/10 of a second, as the official stats show in the strategy guide and in Xbox Ahoy's videos, then it makes absolutely no sense for, you know, 15/10 of a second to make a difference over that. So sorry, a little rambling segue there, but as you guys know, or as I've told you, or you can tell, I'm extremely analytical, and you know, if I was a terrible player at this game, if I was a, you know, a 1 KD or a 0.9 KD player at this game or something, I would still analyze the shit out of it in order to get better. And I do that with every game I play, whether it's Modern Warfare 3 or single player games, or excuse me, allergies are going crazy, or NHL 12, which you guys know is another one of my favorites. So I think that that is a really good way to, I don't know, get a lot of mileage out of your games, to sort of figure out exactly what all the little moving pieces are. But this is a long gameplay, and I appreciate you guys sticking with me for it. It's just, you know, I was really struggling right after the release of this game, and I definitely had to go back to a much more conservative style of play to be successful. And I'd say 3 days ago, I decided, you know what, I'm not having fun doing this. I can't worry about my KD so much that I don't have fun playing the game. So I put on a couple extra SMG classes and I started running around more with specialists and things like that, and really enjoying myself. And I think the key with the SMGs in this game is that you need to use steady aim. I mean, you can use dead silence, but I really recommend you use steady aim pro. The faster aim down sight times after you're sprinting is a lifesaver, especially when you're using extreme conditioning. And the hip fire spread is actually really small, or reduced, or whatever you want to call it, with SMGs. I think they're much more effective than, for instance, than SMGs were in Black Ops, when I didn't really like steady aim that much. But there's no SMG in the game that you can use, or that doesn't make good use of steady aim. They're all pretty ridiculously powerful. So I definitely recommend that you give that a shot. I think the problem I have with this game right now is almost entirely based on the connections, and that's something I want to talk to you guys about a little bit more in the next video, and sort of see what your thoughts are in terms of whether there's lag compensation built into the game. A lot of people are speculating that there is, and a lot of people are saying that they know that there is, and there's certainly evidence, if you look at the way the theater mode works, what I'm doing right now, that there is lag compensation built in. And if there is, it's a huge departure from Modern Warfare 2, and a really bad one. I can't fathom why they thought that would be a good idea, but that's something I really want to find out, because it's probably what's causing all of our connection problems. And I think connection problems are what's pissing almost everybody off about the game. Last thing I want to say, just a quick shout out: the guys I'm playing with in this video are the group I usually play with. Tucker, JP, Nanahab, Romy, Macker, those guys. They don't always, just Cold Sauce, they don't always do the best, but they're great guys, and I love playing with them.